Have a camera on and use a good mic. You can never look too professional. It will make the client trust you more and will set you apart from other editors. Step 1 is to smile and be excited. We like when people are excited to meet us. And the client won't remember exactly what you said, but he will remember how you made him feel. Step 2 is to compliment him. I'm walking you over everything you need to know. So when you have a call with a client, you have a rough idea of what you're gonna say. There was a study that paid some actors to compliment some random people, and then they saw how much the random people like the actor. These actors are paid to compliment you. They know that they weren't doing it because they actually liked them. They were paid to compliment them. Even though they knew that they were paid actors, they liked them more when they complimented them. So don't think that they were a bit like you're glazing or you're lying to compliment him. First of all, say a genuine compliment. And second of all, even if it's not genuine, people like you more when you compliment them. Third step is to be interested. Ask them questions like why they're looking for an editor and how their previous editor experience has went. What mistakes the previous editor did. Just start with questions that make them know that you care. A YouTuber wants an editor who actually cares about helping him, not just getting paid. So before you even get paid, be interested in them and try to help them. Of course, don't give them advice if you're not qualified. Step 4 is to be okay with silence. You have to be okay with silence and not try to fill it up because it gives them time to think, ask you questions, and respond to your questions. Step 5, where you get into a conversation and you ask them some question, you complimented them and you had your webcam and mic on, is when they ask you a question, I want you to think before answering. Every question they throw at you is an opportunity for you to tell them how you're qualified for the job and will help them. So for example, if they ask an open-ended question like, tell me about yourself, you shouldn't say, yo, my name is Abdullah, I'm from Egypt, I like to play Valorant, and I have like 3 friends. They don't actually care about you. What they want you to say is, yeah, I started editing with YouTubers like 2 years ago, and I was constantly improving, and I have worked with creators like X and Y that you might know. Editing is my passion, so even if I wasn't editing for money, I would do it in my free time. Now we turn the boring answer to an answer that gives them social proof, gives them confidence that you will be able to deliver, and shows you actually care about editing and not just doing it on the side. Step number 6 is when they ask you more specific questions, you need to be confident in your abilities. Let me tell you what I mean. So imagine you're on an airplane. It's a pretty small plane. It's you and the pilot. Now imagine 2 situations. The first situation, you have a pilot that's 18 years old. He was fixing his hair and taking Instagram pictures before going into the airplane. And all of a sudden you go into a hurricane and he starts panicking. He says stuff along the lines of, oh, this is the hardest flight I've ever been on. This is gonna be shaky. I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to land or not. This came in the worst time. I have too much brain fog right now. This is super hard. Now hold that situation and now imagine another pilot. The other pilot is 42 years old with white hair. He dedicated his whole life to being a pilot. You get into the plane with him and you encounter the same hurricane. But this time he calms you down. He tells you that he has been through wars. He says that this is easy work for him. 100% he's gonna be able to land it perfectly. And he just tells you to relax and be on your phone and not worry about it. Now which pilot will you prefer when you go into your next flight? Of course the competent pilot. But then when clients ask you, are you sure you're able to replicate my style? You say stuff like, this is kinda harder than what I usually go for. It's a kind of a different style. It might take me a little longer, but I think I'm gonna be able to do it. Of course, if you're not able to do it, don't say that you're able to do it. That would be lying. But if you're confident that you will be able to do it, then tell them and show them previous videos that are similar that you worked on. Show them previous animations that are similar. Tell them how easy it will be for you and how short of a time it will take. Now, of course, I'm not telling you to lie. I'm just talking about the phrasing now. You could have the same exact level of confidence, but in one situation you believe that it's better to downplay your editing ability, and then the other you give them proof that you're able to do it. The version of you that gives proof will be more likely to close the client and charge higher prices. Closing the client is actually pretty easy when you go on a call with him. What's hard is using all of these tactics to be able to close them on higher prices. Now everything so far was interview mode. It's where you see if the client is a good fit for you and tell him if you're a good fit with him as well. You go into closing mode after you say the price, and you delay telling him your price until you go on a call with him. Ask him questions about his previous experiences, ask him questions about the deadline, style, how many videos he needs, answer all of his questions, build rapport with him by being excited and complimenting him. After you do all of that, you go to step 7, the first step in the closing stage. Telling him your price and holding frame. You need to tell him it with confidence and be ready to justify it and ask him more questions if he doesn't like it. You don't just say $200, he says 150, you say 175 and then you accept it. That's weak frame. That will hurt you long term, not even like the $25. Long term, he will know that he can able to negotiate you down. You say the lowest price you're okay with, and if you want to increase it, then you increase it after doing a video or 2 with him. Because it's way easier to ask for raises when he needs you and he knows that you can deliver. To tell you exactly what to say, the 2 ways that I use most to say my prices are considering X factor, I'd be charging Y. Does that fit your budget? In X, I would put like the hardest metric of the video. Considering that the video is 5 hours long, I'd be charging 2,000. Does that fit your budget? Or if the videos are animated fully from start to finish, I would say considering the style you're looking for and that it's animated from start to finish, I'd be charging 2,000. Does that fit your budget? This one will convert the highest, but it's also quite aggressive. You ask an asking him if it fits his budget. You're leaving no room for negotiation. So if we decide to use this way, you gotta be ready that there's a chance that he says, sorry boss, that's out of my budget, and then you continue looking for new clients. Another way, if you really want to work with him and willing to negotiate your prices, because maybe he's a super big YouTuber, you need him on your portfolio or you have no clients at all, and this is my second most commonly used way to close clients, it's just asking. Fair enough. This will probably convert less at the price he said and gives them room to negotiate with you. But when I really want to work with a client because it's my dream client or someone, I use this way. What it sounds like in a conversation is, considering the size that you're looking for and that we'll be making 3 videos per week, I'm gonna have to work with you almost full time. And it's gonna keep me quite busy. Having said that, I'd be charging $2,500 per week, which will result in $750 per video. Fair enough. Again, if you want to charge as much as possible and you're okay with losing a client over it, then use the first method. Otherwise, if we really want a client, then use the second method. Now, if he rejects your price, I would try to ask him more questions like, oh really, this is out of your budget? What was your budget? You think it will fit your budget if you just make less videos per week? You think it will fit your budget if you make less videos and make them high quality? Oh, you want to keep the same amount of videos? Then won't you be okay with changing the style a little bit so it's more reasonable? After he rejects your price, it's not over. You need to still ask him questions. And then you have the choice of compromising and getting the client if you think the social proof and the portfolio is gonna be worth it, or just saying a friendly goodbye and telling him if that ever changes, let me know. My DMs are open. This will be a choice depending on the client. So after he rejects it, you ask him more questions, and depending on his answers, you choose to compromise or reject him. If he accepts your prices or if you guys find a good middle ground, then your next step is to try to make him commit to a date. Now sadly, I'm not talking about a romantic date. I tried to get my client on a romantic date once, but it didn't actually work. I'm talking about making him commit to a date where he can send you the first video. Ideally, if he has already recorded it, then you just ask him to send it right away. Because you might lose some clients between accepting your price and sending you the footage. They might think about it again and decide that they want to back off. They might forget about you. They might interview other editors. A lot of stuff can happen between being on a call and him accepting your prices and sending you the first video. So what we try to do is to get footage as soon as possible, because it's a commitment. It's harder to back off when you started working on a video. That never happened to me. A client never gives you a video and then tells you, hey bro, I know you worked on it, but stop. I decided to not hire you anymore. That never happened. So if he sends you the footage on call, that's ideal. If he doesn't, then try to get him to tell you a date where he can send it. So for example, in 5 days, in 2 days, by tomorrow morning. This way you're using commitment bias. Commitment bias is basically when he says that you're gonna do something, you're more likely to do it. Because you don't want to seem inconsistent. You don't want to be a liar. He doesn't want to say, I'm gonna deliver it by tomorrow morning and then tomorrow morning not deliver it. It's wild inside of us to try to keep our commitments. And then the last step, after you went on a call and was excited with your webcam on and a good mic, after you complimented him and had some small talk, after you were interested in him and asked him questions and responded to his questions in a smart way and showed him how confident you are in making his videos, and then told him your price and held frame, and now you received the footage, the last step is to assume you're gonna get paid upfront. You don't ask him, yo bro, I charge upfront, is that okay with you? You just assume that he's okay with it. If you just act normal and assume he's gonna be okay with it, then he's gonna know that you always charge upfront, and that's the normal way to do it with editor, in which way he's way more likely to accept it. So you just send him a message like, alright, just downloaded all of the footage, gonna start on it, here's my PayPal, and you send him your PayPal. This just assumes that he's gonna be okay with it. If he responds to you and tells you that he wants to pay at the end of the video, depending on how much you want the client and how long term it will help you, you can either tell him, this is how I do it usually. If you're not okay with it, we can do 50% upfront and then 50% after, or tell him that you can only accept the video if it's fully upfront. This is if you have abundance and other clients, you can tell him that. Because if you lose him, you don't care, you have other clients. But the most important thing and the bonus step is you need to be human. There's no particular way to talk, just be human. Sometimes you're talking about something that's exciting and you're high pitched, you're laughing. You're talking super fast and you're talking loud. And then sometimes you need to slow down because you're talking about something more important and you need some more time to think and to just talk normally like you're a human. Don't talk super fast like, sir, yes sir, I can edit the video, sir. And don't be dead like you were just smoking weed. Just be human. These steps are a rough guideline, and the more steps you can implement, the higher chance that he will hire you. But if there's certain steps that didn't feel natural, then just ignore it and continue with the call. You're supposed to be relaxed. Like we said in step 6, you need to be confident in yourself and your editing abilities. You don't want to be in a plane with a pilot and his hands are shaking before even taking off. If you're struggling with getting clients on calls in the first place, I have a full 6-model roadmap in my Discord server that walks you through starting from absolute zero to getting clients to DM you and converting them to actual clients that pay you. It's completely free, and I also do weekly coaching calls in my Discord server. Click the link in the description to join us for free, and here's a 45-minute video on how to improve your editing. And like always, good luck.